Okay, so this is a session 2, and I told you that I'm going to do the sensitivity analysis. So what is sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis is the post-solution process of studying the changes in decision variables, which are these x1 and x2, constraint limits, which are these limits, on the objective function. This is the objective function. So how these values changes in these values and these values will affect this. So in order to find out the sensitivity analysis report, we will go and solve this again, solve with the solver. So this is what we have solved earlier, but this time I am going to solve it by not GRG but with simplex LP method. So we'll solve this by this method, and then we have this sensitivity analysis tab here. We will highlight this and we say okay. So what you see that you will, this new tab sensitivity report appears here, which are these values which are shown here in this window. So if you look at this heading variable cells, which is your x1 and x2, and these are the final values. If you remember that the x1 and x2 come out from the optimal solution, these are the profits for x1 and profit for x2. Now we have allowable increase and decrease. So what this allowable increase decrease means? This means that this value 34, which is given to us, can be increased by 6 or decreased by this value. So if we increase this value or decrease this value within these limits, this 3 will not change. Objective function will change. Similarly for x2, 6 is a value, is optimal value, but this 40 is the given value which is given to us as a constraint. Sorry, this is the profit which is given to us for the pipe 2. So this 40 can be increased by 11 or decreased by 6. So let's see when we'll change these values 34 or 40, what will affect these 3 and 6 and the objective function. So we go here, I will change this value 34, so this can be increased to 40. Beyond 40 this value will be changes, but if we remain within 40, that means I will make it 38, and then I will solve this again. This is not the solution yet, this is just this value is evaluated, but these values are not confirmed yet. So we again solve this, then we will say solve. So you can see that this objective function has changed, but this has not changed because our allowable change here was below 40 as given. So let's increase this to 50, which is was not recommended, because if we change to 50, our these two values will change. Of course this will change as well, but the x1 and x2 will be changing now because we have increased to beyond 40, which is given to us. So let's run this solver, and then you will see this. So when you can see that the objective function have changed, but your x1 and x2 has changes. Okay, so we go back and we put this value back where it was before, 34 originally, right? Okay, so we have, and then I can solve this again to get our optimal solution as before. So we have this same value. So we go back to our sensitivity report again. So the same thing will happen here. So this is 40, increase by this or decrease by this will not change. Let's go to the next constraint value. So in here we have the constraints which are shown here. So these are the final optimal values which we have. We already have these in solution, as you can see. These are the values which we have evaluated, which are shown here. So the next thing is, important thing is shadow price. What is shadow price is? Shadow price is the change in objective function if we increase one value of this constraint. So if I make it 49, my objective will increase by 3. So if I increase by 10, this become 58. So then the increase in the objective function will be 30. Similarly, the final value for this is 18. So if we increase by 1 unit, we will increase objective function by 11. So let's change this value and we see that our function will, objective function will change or not. So we go here. So this is 342. So if I increase this limit to 19, so I know that he told me, the sensitivity told me that if I increase this one value, this will increase by 11. So what I am going to see here is 353. This will not change, only the objective function change because of the change in shadow price. So let's solve this again. You can see this, we solve again. So as you can see that we got 353 because this is the sensitivity analysis report is telling us if you increase one value of by one value increase, if you had 2, the objective function will change by 2 because these shadow prices are binding ones. So on the binding constraint there will be an effect on the objective function. If I increase this, there is no shadow price. If I increase this value to 13, 14 because we have already have a surplus here and this one, so it will not change the objective function if we increase this resources. Okay, so this is how we do the sensitivity analysis. I hope you understand this. Any question you can please ask me. All right, thank you.